Hello there, Albie-Wan here, playing some Stanley Parable for the very first time. It's a game I've been wanting to play for years, literally years, and I just literally have never actually started it. I purchased it here on Steam a couple of years back now, and even before that, I wanted to play it, but just didn't actually sort of pick it up because I was so invested in various other games. Um, I I'm literally like picking it up and starting it today purely because I have just finished doing a stream of Alan Wake 2, and that game has freaked me out so much I need something to detox with. And I think this might be the perfect game for that because I don't think there's going to be quite as many jump scares in this. I'm hoping there's not because please, Stanley, please, Stanley. Well, I know I'm Stanley, but you know. Um, so yeah, no, I have not. I've seen clips of it and silly things, but until the computer's very okay, that's barely visible. That's fine. Enter the current time. Oh, good lord! What is the time? 23. Is it 24-hour clock? It's not. Okay. 11. Nope. Yep. 11 a.m. p.m. 11:45 p.m. Thank you. Yeah, playing Alan Wake 2 at night was probably not a great choice. Accessibility settings can be accessed from the main computer, from the main menu even. So I just started talking like Chekhov for some reason. I don't understand why. Oh, my brain is frazzled. Right, okay, begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I hate Mondays, apparently. This dude's going to get upset with me for not moving out the office. Yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Uh-huh.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, it's a shame. I've always wanted to have a narrator to my life, but I just worried that they would have died of boredom long ago. You must have been doing a deal on those mugs. Oh. FU something on that one? I mean, this is almost as sinister as the game I was just playing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sorry, just got a problem with authority here, you know what I mean?
truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Oh, phew.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, go on then. Go on.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
You know, I'll behave the first run through.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on co-workers. Okay, yeah. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic on the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and... Yeah. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yes. Number of slides in this slide. Charts, slides, and charts and slides. Cool. Whether which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rates of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts, please. That got me. That tickled me. Thank you, game. Oh dear. Takes two people to start a fight, and right now you're both of them. Right, okay. What are your dreams for the future? Comatose. I like comatose. That's, yep. Mitosis. Jesus. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all day with no expectation for promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. Take out passive aggression on co-workers. Resent co-workers for not supporting you more. Let the ball up inside you. Yep, cool, yep. Move circled round. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market. Paradigm? Possibly? Monetize free to play. No! No! No!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Uh-huh.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Oh my god, that was too good. Ah. Yep, nice light-hearted game after the stress and intensity of Alan Wake 2. Is he done, do you reckon? Do you reckon he's done? Oh. I think he might be done. Oh dear.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna behave. Well, for the most part. Okay. Extreme bathrooms. Time with a picture of a clock on it. Yep, okay. Business time. I mean, this room's altogether way too big.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Can't play the piano. That's disappointing.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
I know. We'll start off with low
Forgot,
numbers.
but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, what did he do?
Oh, I was enjoying that. I was enjoying winding him up. I mean, I'm starting to get Alan Wake vibes again. Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Jeez. Yikes.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Maybe.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant
427.
nothing.
It was 427 my number, wasn't it?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes, probably.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
And I lived happily ever after?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Yeah.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Aww. Happy ending. Completed it, mate.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. Because he's not turned up for work.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Or did he?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay. Uh-huh. Will cause death. Cool. Informative. Mm-hmm. Vent access. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Moves closer.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
That was beautiful. I loved that.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Oh, this game's fun. I just love this. Whoever recorded this dialogue must have had a fucking fantastic time.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Which one's good, which one's bad?
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ooh. Good old Neil Skid. Nicho Nacho. Vola Hogarth. Mr. Hayes. So one moment, please hold. I have a bit of connectivity issues with my mouse. The USB thing's twitching a little bit. Unplug that, unplug it straight in. Right, so. There we are, that's better. Okay. I mean, it's almost like I'm being timed.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Oh dear.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh dear.
Aha!
Wow.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Oh, I'm loving this one. This is so good. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is so silly.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Oh.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, I was going to climb that up the tree. Rocket League.
Wonderful.
So we
See,
just
this
got
is
the
exactly what
Firewatch.
I
Now
had
we're
in
in Rocket
mind.
League.
Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is
Wow.
game design.
Yes.
Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, sweet. Oh my god, this game. It's sports ball.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Yes.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple... Hold on. What are you doing?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
This game is so fucking stupid. Ah. Oh my god, there must be so many branching paths in this game. This is a sports ball. He just sounded like Stewie. Stewie. Oh dear. 427. I'm home. Um. Oh.
I wonder what he found.
Hmm.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh my goodness, this game. I'm going to close that one off there. But that has been silly fun. I can imagine, actually, there must be so many branching narratives in this game because there are so many doors I didn't go through, so many things I didn't do, so many things that I cut off halfway through. But yeah, that was definitely the laughter and lightheartedness I needed after playing a bit of that terrifying game. Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll catch you again soon.